Thank you. Another round of applause for your books, guys. Gotta put my notes down. Andy's story reminded me of that classic maxim. Fake your own death once, shame on me. Fake your own death twice, restraining order on you. So, I'm of the mind that in terms of romance, and everything really, the internet giveth and the internet taketh away. I think it's a real double-edged sword. I remember it's been a very useful tool in my life. I'm not a big online dater though. I was on OkCupid briefly for like a month. And I remember being really excited to meet these women who wrote these amazing emails. And then when I would meet them in person, I found out that their best quality was they were great at writing emails. And that's not like a person that you're gonna build a life with. That's like dating a computer because you're like, it's so good at math. That's not always why you're attracted to people. And I guess I've utilized the internet for romance in a lot of different ways, which sounds gross, but bear with me. My ex-girlfriend and I were in a long-distance relationship, and we would email a lot and talk on a G-chat. And one time I proposed that we try video chat sex over Skype. And she said, and I quote, "No way, dude, the government can spy on us." And this was back in like 2011 before we knew they just did that. That's a thing they really do. Which still doesn't make sense to me because why are they watching that? That's not when you plan crime. Nobody's like, oh yeah girl, I'm so hard right now, I could assassinate the president. So this has something in common with Kira's story from earlier, which was wonderful, which is that it came about, it's a work story. So I do some magazine writing for online outlets and others, but this is an online one. And I got an oh, this is a story I'll tell you about overcoming a nemesis. Yeah, which sounds impressive until I tell you that the nemesis was a CEO of a pharmaceutical company, which sounds more impressive until I tell you that he was the CEO of a pharmaceutical company that manufactured a penis-numbing spray marketed towards premature ejaculators. So, like, less of a formidable opponent. This is the guy who was a doctor who went, no, you guys hook it up for the fellows with cancer. I'm gonna get working for the dudes who think sex feels too awesome. That's my medical constituency. And the reason he was in my life was because I got an email from a magazine that I write for, and they said, Josh, will you test and write about this penis-numbing spray marketed towards premature ejaculators? To which I replied, as any man would, why would you ask me that? That's never happened before. And they wrote back offering me a sum of money that would help me live. And so I wrote back one word, yes! And then I sent an additional email that was like, sorry, that first email was so short, I promise next time will be better. I'll buy you brunch tomorrow. So I go to the office and I pick up the penis-numbing spray. And that night, I'm on a third date with a young lady. And because of whiskey, I bring up this writing assignment. And she says, and I quote, I'm not into that at all. Which is super reasonable. She is not the bad guy here. We hadn't even had sex without performance-enhancing drugs yet. I'm sure she didn't want me coming at her for the first time with like a dead-eyed, remorseless Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men boner. Just like flipping a coin on the tip, deciding who lives and dies on a whim. So she's not into it. I say, drunkenly, fine, I'll take care of this on my own. Yeah, you get it. That is the most self-righteously a man has ever declared he was leaving a date with a human woman to masturbate solo. And I was angry, and I just wanted to get this done, but I was like, I'm going big or I'm going home. And I'm going home. So I used the maximum recommended dosage of the penis numbing spray. I used 10 sprays, which is excessive. I wanted to use 11 just so I could be like, it goes to 11. But I didn't want to potentially ruin a boner forever over a Spinal Tap reference. So I used 10 sprays and get into it, and it is not great. I don't know, maybe there's a lot of women here, there's some guys too. Maybe this is a common thing to the other men here. A big part of my enjoyment of any sexual experience is being able to feel my penis. And I couldn't, I way overdid it. My eyes were bigger than my stomach, or whatever the expression is. My penis was bigger than my stomach. That's not true. So I did, and it was like, masturbating was like, it wasn't good. It was like listening to a Fish song. I was like 25 minutes in, no end in sight. It's like, is this still the same thing that we started with? Why does anyone like this? Must be the live version. And so I filed the article, I write about it, my editor is like, no, you idiot, you have to have sex with like a human lady. So now I'm on the horns of a dilemma because I'd already promised this young lady that this would never come up again. And we're just starting to date more seriously, and I needed the money, so I brought it. So I was here, I was in the position, this was like a romantic comedy movie. Specifically, it was like the plot of the romantic comedy, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And I was Kate Hudson, and I didn't know how I felt about it. So I ended up bringing the topic back up, and she felt more comfortable. I broached it very abruptly last time, and it was a problem. She, more than understanding, it happened. I don't want to say too much more about it, as a courtesy to her, who is a human person who has to live in the world. So that happened. The article runs online. Within 2 hours, I get an email from the CEO of the company, and I don't read it, because I know he's mad. And I know he's mad because I said all the stuff that I just told you. And the title of his email was, "This is ridiculous." And I could tell it wasn't like a video of a squirrel on water skis. So I don't answer him. I'm like, I'm an adult. I don't have to take this guy's garbage. I said, he'll hear from me when I hear from his lawyer. That's what I said out loud because I heard John Hamm say it once in a movie. So the next morning I wake up and I get an email from his lawyer, and I'm like, touche, nemesis, the game is afoot. So I have to get a lawyer to deal with his lawyer, and it's 3 days that they're just going back and forth, and it is very stressful because I'm not going to jail over this. Because I'm pretty sure when you go to jail, they don't let you bring your penis numbing spray to use on the other guys. So I'm very nervous. I feel awful. I feel like I'm in legal trouble. I've jeopardized my relationship. Everything is awful. Finally, after 3 days, my lawyer gets back to me. He says, everything's cool. They called off the dogs. They changed a couple of sentences in the article. But everything else is intact. I'm not in any trouble. Exhale. Then I get another email from the guy, which I do not read, but I do respond. I write, "Dear sir," I called him Chad. Well, I'll call him Chad now. That's not his name, but he had a Chad-like demeanor. If that makes sense. So I said, Dear Chad, I believe our business to be concluded. I expect no further communication from you. I'm sorry to be short with you, but it seems like that's kind of your thing. Good luck with all your penis-numbing endeavors, both professional and, I'm assuming, personal. Good day, Joshua L. Gondelman. I used my middle name to show I was serious. And I phrased the whole email that way for 2 reasons. One, because I knew that I would be on the record and I could say that he's been harassing me, because he's not supposed to be talking to me at all. Our business is done. 2, I knew by emailing him curtly, he would get furious and email me back right away, falling directly into my trap, which was just going to be, to whatever he sent me, to just respond 1 sentence, all caps, "I said good day, sir!" did email me back. It was 3 days later. I didn't read that email. I had time to decompress. I just felt relieved to be escaping with rent money, what's left of my dignity, and my relationship to a very kind, loving, understanding person. So thank you guys so much. You guys have been wonderful.